Hello and welcome to this video. Are you ever kind of struggling with the leaves and how they fold and twist and creating, well, they have a whole life for themselves, and when we are sketching flowers, of course we want to focus on the leaves as well, because that is what brings so much movement and dancing feeling, rhythm into our sketches. So definitely we want to focus on the petals as well, leaves as well. So in this video I'm gonna show you 6 variations of folds and twists, and how you can use them in line and wash. And if you want to explore how to breathe life into your floral sketches even more, I have a freebie for you. It's called Breathe Life into Your Floral Sketches. It's right here below, and it's a PDF with 5 tips where you can dive in and enhance your floral sketches right away. But right now, before you go check that out, you can see this video on how to create 6 different folds and twisting leaves. We have 2 different kinds of folding petals and leaves. We have folds and then we have twists. And I'm gonna start with the folds. So we can just kind of divide our paper here so it's easier. And we are going to start with the folds here. Start with a pencil just for a guide. And I will do 3 different folds. So just drawing a regular leaf like that. And we can do that 3 times. So we kind of can work with this as a guide. The first one will be a small fold, and it will be a forward fold because leaves can bend forward and backwards. So let's start with this first one, and I will do a line across here because that will be the fold. So all of this up here will not be part of the leaf. And then you can add in the bent leaf there. And then I want to add a bend here in this in the side as well. So of course, if this is the entire leaf, it won't be a bend all the way out here. So we will kind of make a new line, just like this one, where we have our bend like that. So when we are using our fine liner, you can draw using the new guide, and then you have your bend there. And then to kind of emphasize the bend, you can put in a few direction lines so it will show that curve. Same with this one. Just kind of emphasizing that this leaf is bending. And here on the main part, it will of course be more straight like that. So, and it will, as it is a leaf, it will probably have veins and stuff as well. So you can put that in here as well. But that is our first leaf with 2 small forward bends. So now I'm zooming out and doing the next one. And here we're gonna do a bigger forward fold. And when you have a big fold, you will have a leaf. Let's see, we can bend it here. You will have a leaf that is kind of going further out here in this area than this line, the original line. So we have a bend like that instead. And here you can again draw with the line. And often it will actually bend down a little bit as well in the center. Just because that's where the vein is going. So just adding those lines again. And we have ourselves another bending leaf here. Again, you can always add in those veins as well, and you can put that in here too. They will kind of be hiding a little bit behind that bend, but of course they are still there. So that was the second one. And the third one is a backward bend, because we're going to try that as well. So here we're going to do I think we're going to do a bend like that as well. But here it will be backwards. And you can see kind of how much space this takes up. It will kind of be the same behind, but it's hiding, of course, behind the rest of the leaf. So we have something like that. Now we can draw in this leaf here and start maybe with the vein here, the central vein. It can go like that, and we have that going all the way down there. And then you can put in a few direction lines to show the curve of the leaf. Like that. So still having the visible lines, that is the veins, and the curving lines that are actually just giving the viewer an idea that this leaf is a curled one. So like that. And before we go on to the next part, I just want to add a little bit of dark areas, because when we have a bend, there will be a little bit of shadow in the area that is beneath here. So you can put in a little bit of darker area. I just switched it to my fineliner to a 02, just because it gives us a little bit darker tones, just because it's bigger than the other one. And up here we can go with just a little bit here below, and maybe adding a little bit of dark areas in places, but don't overdo it. Often less is more. And then we can erase pencil lines, pencil guides, and we have these 3 folding leaves. And of course we can add watercolor to it. I'm gonna do that in yeah, I'll do it now. So before we head on to the twisting ones. I'm just gonna put in some water here. Oh, that was red in my pencil, but that's okay. Just adding some greens here. We can make that flow. And this one, I'm just putting that on wet on dry to give it a little bit different look. And when we are working with bent leaves like this, you can add more dark spots beneath the bend, just like we did with the fine liner, but you can also do it with the watercolor, of course, just to give us that extra pop of shadow. So putting that in here. And here you can add it to the bended area here. And that will give us a little bit more shape. And also often there will be a shadow in the center there as well. So you can put that in too. Remember, as long as it's wet, you can work with it. And of course you can add more colors if you like a brown or a red to neutralize it or something else. We can let this dry and jump down to twisters. That is fun. Let's see here. When you have a twisting petal, it is kind of not just bending, but twisting. And often that is actually what we see in a lot of petals and leaves. So just writing twists here. And here you want to use your pencil again. Let's see. The funny thing about twist is that you will always have an edge to a petal that is going all the way from the start of the petal or the leaf and to the end. And then you will kind of fill in the rest. So here we, for example, have, this is the outer edge of the petal, and then we can fill in the rest. So we have kind of a back here of a petal and goes down here. And this makes sense in a little bit, I hope, when I fill in the rest of this. So you can see how this line went all the way through to the end, and then we have the rest filled in. So here it was starting, and this was kind of the bend. So we still have a bending petal, but this time twisting to the right. And I'm just gonna put in some fine liner to this. Like that. And here you can really work with your shaping lines because they are super important here. Just zooming in a little bit more. Of course, we still have the vein that will go somewhere around here, and it will be shaping. So it's somewhere like that. But here I would definitely just kind of work with that curl you get in this leaf. Of course, you can add more detail to the vein. But I think the curl is more important, just because that is so defining for a leaf like this. I'll zoom out and we can do the next twist. See, we can start I'll do one more here so you can kind of get an idea more of that full length. And then we can make instead of doing this as doing the big twist, we can do a smaller one like that. And then you will have the inside of the petal being bigger, of course. This is a thinner leaf. It's actually a very thin leaf. Let's see, I'll just make it a little bit smaller. So more like that will make sense. And nope. Let's see. See, that is better. There's something about that curl that just didn't work. So, like that. We now have a leaf where this is the full length. And then we have this bend. And here you can start playing around with either making it curl downward like that or inwards. Or you can make bumps in it. Often a bend like that will have some kind of texture, so it's not just a straight line. Just zooming in. So you can see how it's like a bumpy thing here, and can kind of emphasize that with some direction lines as well. Of course, adding in some veins. And here you can put that in as well here. I do feel like adding stems to these. Just doing that. Does kind of make them more leafish, leaf-like. Like that. Yes. So there we have 2 twisted leaves. I'm just gonna make one more before we can remove the pencil line and add a little bit of watercolor. So here we're gonna do a twist that is twisting more forward like this. So this was the full length. Then we have the bend here and the back or the inside of the petal here. And you can see how this is actually almost like this one up here, because you have that tip going on the outside there, across the outer edge. So of course these are very similar, but can be really good to know, and they can seem simple, but when you are wondering how to do a leaf the first time or the second time, it can be really tricky. So these can be a nice guide for you. Here the direction lines are going inside here. Of course we can still do a vein. Like that. It'll actually go and hide itself kind of in the bend there. And of course we have it coming here. You can add a few veins there as well to kind of fill up. And now we can remove the pencil lines again, like that. And let's just add a little bit of watercolor so we get some more finished leaves here. I'm glad I added the stems. It feels more real now somehow. You can see I'm leaving a little bit of white space here in the area between the inside and the outside. And that's just to separate them a little bit so it's not all the same color. And you don't have to add watercolor to everything. Then we have this one over here. So I'm moving the brush in the direction of the petal for each stroke. So up here in the direction of the petal, and also down here. And we can add a little bit of dark area here in the bend, so that is emphasized a little bit. And now I'm just zooming out so you can see what we have here. First we have the folds, forward folds and backward fold, and here we have the twists. And that is it for me. That was quickly 6 leaves in different ways of folds and twists. And of course, if you wanna explore how to breathe life into your floral sketches even more, check out the free PDF that I've linked below called Breathe Life into Your Floral Sketches. Yes, we need life in the floral sketches. They can be so flat. So I am showing you 5 very quick, easy tips to enhance your floral sketches right away. So check that out and hit follow if you want more videos, of course, hear from me. And then I want to wish you a wonderful day. Hello and bye.